Hi, can somebody explain how to solve this? Okay, let's have a look. Right here we have the integral of 2 over x to the 7th power plus 8x to the 1st power. And since we have the integral of a rational function, the usual step is that we factor the bottom and try to do partial fractions. And if you look at the bottom here, if you factor it like the usual way, then you will just take out the x. And we get x to the 6 plus 8. And then we will be stuck because how do I really factor this in a nice way? How do I even do the partial fractions, finding all the unknown constants, right? It will be a nightmare. Truth be told, for this particular integral, whenever you have the bottom x to some power, hopefully it's bigger than 1, and then this right here, x to the 1st power, you don't want to factor out x to the 1st power. In fact, you want to factor out x to the bigger power, which in this case will be the 7th power. In that case, the first term will be 1. And then for the second term, you can just think about x divided by x to the 7, which will get x to the negative 6. This is still okay. If you multiply in, you get this, and you get that. Now, why is this helpful? First, let me put a 2 in the front. And then we'll be focusing on this part, x to the 7th power. I will bring this up here and use negative exponent. And then the denominator is 1 plus 8, x to the negative 6. How can we continue next though? Well, this now just requires a u substitution, because the derivative of the bottom, when you subtract 1 from the exponent, we do get negative 7. That matches with the function part here. Wonderful. Now here are the steps. U is equal to 1 plus 8 x to the negative 6. du is equal to, that will be 0. That will be negative 48 x to the negative 7. Divide this, we get dx equals du over negative 48 x to the negative 7. Now take this integral to the u world. I'm going to keep the negative x to the negative 7 on the top, and the bottom is the u, and dx is all that. So du over negative 48 times x to the negative 7th power. How wonderful. This and that cancel. Okay, so what we are getting is 2 over negative 48 and the integral 1 over u in the u world. That reduced to negative 1 over 24, and then the integral of 1 over u is just ln absolute value of u. U is what? U is this right here. 1 plus 8x to the negative 6. Usually you put absolute value, but this right here is never negative, so parentheses will do it. And I'll do it. That's it.